Shanghai, China is the world's No.1 polluter. It burns more coal than the rest of the world combined. It produces more than a quarter of the world's human-caused global warming gases, nearly as much as North America and Europe put together. On Tuesday, China set out to claim another title that reflects its ambitions to change all that, keeper of the world's largest financial market devoted to cleaning up the air. China released plans on Tuesday to start a giant market to trade credits for the right to emit planet-warming greenhouse gases in the next couple of years. The nationwide market would initially cover only China's vast, state-dominated power generation sector, which produced almost half of the country's emissions from the burning of fossil fuels last year. The long-awaited announcement could give global efforts to combat climate change a boost after President Trump signaled this year that the United States would back away from Obama-era vows to curb emissions. It could also serve as a big, though ultimately government-controlled, laboratory for such carbon markets, after earlier efforts in Europe and at the local level in China stumbled. China's move to create the world's largest carbon market is yet another powerful sign that a global sustainability revolution is underway, Al Gore, the former vice president and a prominent climate change advocate, said in a statement. China's announcement could disappoint those who were hoping the long-promised emissions market would cover the country's broader economy, the world's second largest after the United States. China's booming car culture, its industrializing agriculture sector and its huge chemical complexes, cement factories and steel mills are also big emitters. Still, environmental groups welcomed the move. Nathaniel Keohane, Vice President for Global Climate at the Environmental Deficit Fund, said the market for power sector emissions alone would cover 3.3 billion metric tons of annual carbon dioxide releases. The European Union's trading system covers about 2 billion tons of emissions. This is like the Mount Everest of climate policy, Mr. Keohane said. It's an incredibly ambitious undertaking. China is reacting to pressure at home and abroad to clean up its act. Rising sea levels would devastate its heavily populated coast. The Chinese public has grown increasingly worried about broader environmental issues like urban smog, water quality and soil pollution. China has invested heavily in green technologies such as electric cars, wind turbines and solar panels. China's emissions of greenhouse gases from the burning of fossil fuels like oil, coal and natural gas have nearly tripled since 2000, according to data from the International Energy Agency in Paris. The high tonnage partly reflects its huge population. Chinese emissions per person are still somewhat less than average per capita figure in the United States, although the gap has been narrowing. If it works as intended, an emissions market will give Chinese power companies a financial incentive to operate more cleanly. Under such markets, power companies and others effectively pay for the right to pollute beyond a government-mandated limit.